What's up, sons? It's Blind Red with Son of a Tech once again, and today I'm going to show you guys how to mine with CloreAI. Basically, getting yourself a HiveOS rig, adding it into your HiveOS farm, and then setting a flight sheet for it through CloreAI. CloreAI is technically targeted towards obviously AI workloads, but they already have a pre-configured image for you to install HiveOS and begin mining right away. The fact of the matter is, most AI platforms right now that are currently out, like Vast AI, like CloreAI, are being utilized to mine cryptocurrencies and not to process AI. I think this is because AI is more of a buzzword than anything else at this time for a lot of different startups and projects. But that aside, you can still go ahead and operate, some sort of hash rate arbitrage if you pay enough attention to the cryptocurrency mining market through this method. So let's go ahead and get started. Over on Clore.ai, you're going to go up to the top right and click login. Then you're going to click the register button and you will fill out an email. Type your password, retype it, agree with terms, and then say you're not a robot. I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and get logged in to show you guys what this looks like. I'm pretty sure you can handle creating an account on your own. And as you guys can see, you get loaded right into your account. Now you're going to have two account balances. You're going to have Bitcoin and Clore. And you can deposit either or by clicking the deposit button, and then you'll have a little QR code or an address. One way you can obtain some of this Bitcoin if you are currently on a fiat system is through crypto.com. You can use my referral link down below, and then you can purchase some Bitcoin with, of course, your Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever, and then shoot it on over here to start getting your rentals in. And you can click the deposit button and the deposit here. If you've been mining it for quite some time or investing in it and you want to go ahead and utilize that, you can use that for rentals. Keep in mind there is a minimum deposit of 75 Clore. If you send less than that to this particular wallet, it won't show up. And I definitely have confirmed this, so just make note of that. Now, there is an option for proof of holding, which is a really interesting option where if you currently have, a certain amount of Clore available in your wallet, you can basically add that wallet, prove that you have a certain amount of holdings, and get discounts on your rentals. And that whole sheet is here. I think it's all the way up to getting about 5.5% off. So keep in mind, this can make your rentals even cheaper, which obviously is going to make you more profitable if you're trying to perform some hash rate arbitrage. So now that we have that completed, let's go ahead and talk about the marketplace. You're going to go ahead and at the top here, click this marketplace button, and it's going to take you on over to the CloreAI marketplace. Now, you're going to have show rented servers, which you really don't want to do, and overclockable, you can do. This means the owner of the server is going to allow you to essentially overclock the equipment. I don't recommend doing this primarily due to the fact that it does make them very unreliable. I've yet to find a good, reliable system that is overclockable, but you can go ahead and try them out if you like. You're going to have GPU count here, which is going to allow you to go up to 16. That's the amount of GPUs in the system. The amount of VRAM per GPU. The amount of memory in the system as well. And the minimum reliability, which is how well or how much uptime that particular system has. Now down here, you're going to have your currency, and this is what you're going to be paying in. So you have Clore and Bitcoin. We're going to select Bitcoin here for today's example, and it will display the cost in sats. You can do a sats to USD converter. Kraken has one up and running if you like, and that can get you the actual amount of Bitcoin. So you can go here, copy out, the 1500 sats here, paste that over into this calculator, it'll tell you that's about 88 cents equivalency in the US dollar and 0.00015 in Bitcoin. That's going to give you an idea if you want to see how much that's going to actually cost you. And then you have your GPU selection all the way up to an RTX 4090. So you can click that. You can see here that it will display the 4090 for you and the amount that that's going to cost. You also can sort from lowest to highest price or highest to lowest price or whatever the default is, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. And then you can also select your CUDA version. This is all obviously going to be more important on the CUDA version for if you are doing, AI specific workloads or whatever. For mining, not as relevant. Then over here, you can find the rig that you're interested in renting and you can click rent or spot market. Rent will rent for the price over here, or you can click the spot market and you can essentially add an offer in by clicking the add offer in button and then add how much you wish to pay. You can say what image you're going to run. In this case, you would select HiveOS, for example. You'll add any ports and you'll add your rig ID, rig password, and farm hash. This has to be accepted, so I'm not going to show you guys how to do it today, other than basically this is where you can basically get access to it and review it. Let's go ahead and go back to the marketplace here. I'm going to close out of this. We're going to go back to the marketplace. I'm going to show you guys how this works with HiveOS. So you will need a HiveOS account. I'm assuming if you watch this channel, you already have one. If you don't, you can check out the referral links down below to get one created, and you will have to have a balance in there to essentially pay for the rigs. It is free with 2 rigs. So like in this case right now, I have a farm for Clore that has 2 rigs in it, and it would technically be free if I didn't have all of these other farms, right? So it's 4 cents a day for me. If you only have 2 rigs in the farm, you're not going to pay for it. And that is currently their price structure. So let's go ahead and go back here and click rent. And then we're going to scroll down and you'll see this image for HiveOS and you're going to select it. It's going to ask for your rig ID, rig password, and farm hash. To get these, you're going to go back to your farm. You are going to click the add button and then the add worker button, and then click add rigs and connect existing. This is going to give you a rig ID that you will copy out and paste into the rig ID portion. Then you're going to click the view on the password, copy that out and paste that into the rig password. And then you're going to go to the settings, and I will probably have this blurred out or I'll create a new farm. Not really sure yet, but you'll copy out this farm hash with a Control-C or right click and copy. Go back over and go to the farm hash and paste that right there. And then you will click the create button down at the bottom. This should kick you over into the My Orders page, and basically it will go through the process of saying image status deploying, and you will wait until it's deployed. And then once it's deployed, we can go back over here and configure the flight sheet. Now, if you're doing this in like a mass deployment kind of setting, and you're adding rigs, you can always just tick on over to the flight sheet, select the flight sheet that you want it to start on, and go ahead and get it running from there. I have a couple other rigs in here already, as you can see, mining cubic. There is a little note. I do get, in a lot of cases, basically the GPU showing attention required. As long as the hash rate is sufficient, I think it's fine. And you can kind of compare that to other rigs. In some cases, I have done like NVIDIA driver updates or downgrades to resolve these issues. But typically, if they're hashing for me, I tend to leave them alone, even if they do show these attention required issues. As long as they're hashing at full rate, I'm okay with it. And that's kind of my thought behind it. Now, in this example here too, this is a single 4090. And this is 2 3090s. You're much better off with a single 4090 on cubic right now. But let's go ahead and wait for this to get all cleared up and added. It does show deployed state. So let's go ahead and see if it's clicked over. It hasn't yet. We're just kind of waiting. Now that it's deployed, it should be going through. You can show logs. Not going to be super helpful as far as If it is started, but there are networking issues, this isn't going to help you and you'll have to delete and create a new image. But if there are issues with like basically the deployment or something along those lines where you get an error, then you can kind of look at this and see what's going on. But you can see here that if we go over to our container, it does say image started. So now we're just kind of waiting on this image to spin up. All right, so once deployed here, you can see we have it up and running. You can click into it. Now, you won't be able to connect over the local IP, so you will have to connect over a Hive shell start for any command line operations. And you can do that with this little button for remote access and pop in over to there, and then open up the shell in the box, and it will go through the process of obviously same old run the miner to make sure it's downloaded and that it starts mining and all of that, right? So pretty simple and straightforward. If you notice that, like for example, if this begins mining and it's not doing the 405 hash a second, I'll typically turn that one down and pick another one, that sort of thing. Make sure I am within spec depending on the GPU I'm renting and make sure I get full hash. Of course, don't forget as well that these rigs do come with CPUs in lots of cases and come with pretty powerful CPUs. So make sure you are utilizing the CPUs to mine as well. For example, this one has a 3700 in it. So I could put that on, well, Cubic or Zealous or whatever I think I want to mine at that point and make even more. So make sure you're utilizing the entire system. So that is how to utilize the CloreAI marketplace to mine cryptocurrency through HiveOS. I hope you found this video informative and at least interesting. If you did, hit the like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to check out Locals for speculative mining tips and tricks at sonofatech.locals.com. And don't forget to check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com. Hope to see you guys out at Consensus at the end of this month, and I will see you next Tuesday.